Wow, what a finale for Season 2 of The Mandalorian. We got a lot to talk about. How's everybody? So we finally reached the end, the season finale of Season 2 of The Mandalorian on Disney+. I want to thank you guys so much for checking back each week to talk about the show with me. I've enjoyed these conversations. I'm going to miss them until we get Season 3. But until then, I'm going to have many more movie reviews and other related content, streaming shows and all that. I'm going to review WandaVision when that starts up next month. I guess that's a spoiler. But if you enjoy all that stuff, make sure you tune into all that stuff, leave a like, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for all that content. Of course, in the last episode, we had Bill Burr return playing Mayfield. He actually helped Mando, Boba Fett, Fennec, and Cara Dune get the coordinates to Moff Gideon, and ending the episode with Mando actually sending a message to Moff Gideon, pretty much turning Moff Gideon's speech from last season on its head about "you have something I want, and he means so much to me, so I'm gonna come get Grogu back," leading us into this final episode of the season. It's interesting because going into this episode, I did know that Peyton Reed directed it, and unfortunately, he probably directed my least favorite episode this season, but I had an absolute blast with this episode. The tension was high, so much dramatic moments, like almost goosebumps are going down my whole body pretty much the entire episode, and we'll get to those crazy moments in a minute. From the jump, it's non-stop action because we start off with Slave One actually tracking Dr. Pershing's ship, and they board him. Cara Dune murders this dude, shoots him right in the face because he talked about Alderaan, and obviously that's a very soft spot for her. A lot of badass women moments in this episode, not even just from Cara Dune, but from the whole squad, because Fennec's involved in a lot of this action, and even when they get to Bo-Katan, because Bo-Katan and Sasha Banks' character, Casca Reeves, return, they go grab them right before they head off to take off Moff Gideon. Figured as much eventually we'd see Bo-Katan come back to the show just because she really wants that Darksaber back from Moff Gideon. I don't know where their other member went, because obviously if you saw earlier this season, there was 3 members in the crew. Axe, I believe was his name, the male one. He's not in this episode. It's Casca Reeves and Bo-Katan. I absolutely love the banter between Bo-Katan and Boba Fett because Bo-Katan's just throwing so much shade and just insulting him right to his face, and they have a little scuffle in the bar. But that was really great just to see those characters actually interact in live action. It's really awesome seeing all of these different characters together in one place working as a team. It's almost like a mini Avengers Endgame style thing, but on Disney+. I like their plan, the way that they seem to have their crafted plan to get on the Moff Gideon ship and all that seemed great at first, at least until Moff Gideon unleashed the Dark Troopers. The Dark Troopers, we finally get to see them in full-blown action other than when they took Grogu. And they're pretty badass. They're very strong. Mando tries to fight one, and he gets the crap beaten out of him. I mean, he gets punched to the point where, like, that, you would think that helmet would break, but I mean, fortunately, Beskar is so strong. But eventually, he does get the best of the Dark Trooper and takes him out with the Beskar spear. It was great to see the Beskar spear in action. While this is going on, though, like I said, the woman power. We got Casca Reeves, Bo-Katan, Cara Dune, and Fennec just mowing down stormtroopers all throughout the ship. That was probably one of the main highlights, up until some of the crazier moments later on in the episode. It was mildly shocking seeing those Dark Troopers, the way they took out Mando, and then Mando just sends them all into space, like Alien style. But of course they do come back. But for a moment there, I thought, wow, that was the Dark Troopers. So we saw them beat up Mando for a little bit. One gets killed, they send all the other ones into space. But they do eventually come back. Of course, then we get to Grogu in the cell in his little handcuffs. Moff Gideon's holding the Darksaber up to him. You think that Mando and Moff Gideon are actually kind of having this battle of wits, it almost seems. You think that they're going to have a big old battle, but it seemed like they almost came to like a mutual agreement because he already got the blood from Grogu, so he doesn't need him anymore, and he catches Mando off guard. I don't know why Mando always just believes everything, because of course once Mando turns his back on him, he hits him with the Darksaber, and an awesome battle ensues. Mando using his spear, obviously Moff Gideon's using his Darksaber. We have this really epic fight in a hallway. It's some really great action scenes set up right there. It almost seemed like it was too surprising, at least initially, that Moff Gideon actually lost quite quickly, and it almost seemed like it was part of his plan, as we do see later on. Moff Gideon's always got some sort of plan up his sleeve. I just love Giancarlo Esposito in this role, and I hope that we do see him more in future Star Wars stuff, just because I love him in this character. It was also very cool to see Mando holding the Darksaber, so I mean, he basically owns it now. That's kind of the rule, which Moff Gideon kind of tries to turn it on them just because Bo-Katan, she wants the Darksaber, but the only way she's going to get the Darksaber back from Mando is through combat, and they don't do that. I was actually kind of expecting that'd be part of Moff Gideon's evil plan where he was going to make them fight to the death or whatever over the Darksaber, but they actually don't get a chance to do that because the Dark Troopers come back. They're all hauled up in their little part of the ship, and they're trying to break down the door. It almost seems like all hope is lost, and an X-Wing flies by the window. And if you're a fan of Star Wars, you probably do recognize that oh my god, that's actually Luke Skywalker's X-Wing. And it's actually Luke Skywalker. He pulls up into the cargo bay. He starts mowing down all of the different dark troopers. It's really awesome. This is like the Luke Skywalker that I've wanted to see. The Return of the Jedi era, full-blown Jedi Luke Skywalker. And we do get to see that in full fashion as he takes them all out. And it was a bit weird, I will admit, when he takes the hood off, because he fights everybody with the hood on, and then he takes the hood off, and it actually is young Mark Hamill's face, but it is a little bit weird looking. It's obviously some sort of deep fake kind of thing. It's not like full-blown de-aging, like it wasn't like Mark Hamill actually walked on the set and they just put dots on his face and they de-aged him. It was interesting. They definitely still need to work on that a little bit. It's interesting that Luke is actually the one that answers Grogu's call. I figured maybe we'd get Ezra or even like an aged up Cal Kestis, somebody else, but Luke is still an awesome choice. He actually is going to come and collect Grogu, which is kind of a sad moment because Grogu only will go with Luke if he gets permission from Mando, and it almost like brought a tear to my eye actually seeing Mando and Grogu say goodbye, which seems like their final goodbye, and to the point where Mando actually takes his helmet off and he sees Grogu eye to eye and Grogu like touches his face. It's really sad, especially as the score swells during this final moment, and even R2-D2 rolls in, so it was cool to actually see R2-D2 have a little bit of a role, even though it's not too much. It was really sad, especially just seeing how broken up he is about losing Grogu, because you could tell they really loved each other, and I don't know, it seems like that possibly could be the end of not even just The Mandalorian, but I guess their journey, just because, I mean, I don't know how many people actually stayed through the credits, but there actually is a mid-credit scene where it cuts to Boba Fett and Fennec. They're actually at Jabba's palace, and they murder some people in there, and it looks like Boba is taking over the show, it seems like, because it flashed up the Book of Boba Fett is coming December of 2021. So I guess that means that they're taking the place of The Mandalorian, because I believe they said Mandalorian Season 3 was going to come out around December of 2021, and I don't think they're going to have a Season 3 of Mandalorian and also a Boba Fett show, but I don't know. I mean, I guess this possibly is the end. I am excited to see more of Boba Fett because he's been pretty great in the limited role he's had in these couple episodes that we've actually shown him in the full armor and Slave One. So I'm actually very excited for it just because I do love those characters and we're going to get to see more of them. I hope this isn't the end for Mando or even Grogu, because that's the thing is Grogu's going with Luke Skywalker. And when you really think about it, like Kylo Ren killed all of Luke's students as we saw in the sequel trilogy. So maybe R.I.P. Grogu? I mean, we didn't see him die, so you never really know. Even then, I mean, it's Star Wars, you never really know. But yeah, that was a really great finale. Let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think of this finale, Season 2 of The Mandalorian? What did you think of all the crazy things that happened? I mean, there's so much to discuss in this episode. Thank you as always for checking out my reviews. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you like it, the subscribe button. We'll keep doing movie reviews, show reactions, unboxings, and more. Next time, I'll see you guys later.